confine yourself to your role, Domingo.
Lose the attitude.
Gay Dean, Gay Dean, Gay Dean, Gay Dean. I'm begging you to be Gay Dean for the school board. Your lifestyle is alternative, your influence is positive. You represent the changing of the tide. Gay Dean.
This meeting is being recorded.
Does everyone sign that consent waiver I just sent out? Everyone.
I just
Zoom just
robot
talked to
speak
me.
softly
That's
into
the
my
worst
ear.
feature
no
that they have
machine.
added.
Recording in
Trust
progress.
no machine.
It's better than
Yeah.
just like mysteriously just seeing a red dot appear. But
Your
like,
soul belongs
Barely.
to me. If you do not complete your podcast within 1 hour, you will never leave.
this machine will self-destruct.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, podcast about the television show Community for a minimum of 70 episodes. And we can do it. All right, let's do it. Marry, fuck, kill, Ira Glass, Terry Gross,
Rob
and
Bullich,
yeah,
the old guy.
yeah, the old guy. All right, kill the old guy. Done. Done. Marry
What?
Terry. Fuck Ira.
And this dose of ageism brought to you by.
Talk about some fresh air. They're NPR. They're all old. It's just who is the oldest. I don't know if you've seen Terry
Still
Gross
saying
lately.
that's your criteria, though.
I'm sorry. Apparently, that's. I don't know if you've seen pictures of Terry Gross lately, but it's sort of a race to the end. You know, it's not who is the most virile, youthful NPR.
Really
host.
living up to the last name, huh?
Nah, she all right.
Are you gonna leave this Terry Gross slander in the episode, or
Absolutely.
But
No,
this.
all slander stays in the episode.
I feel really bad because I literally don't know who this person is, and I feel like that's worse than everything Kevin has said.
For
Yes,
sure,
if
with
this was
Terry
the first
Gross.
time this had happened, then it would be a problem. But it's not, and it's okay.
That's
We don't
true. You
judge
often
you.
talk about things that I
We
don't know.
don't
Jesse,
judge
Jesse,
you.
do you know who Terry? What's his last name?
Terry Gross,
he?
and it's not a he.
He?
Bad start.
See, look at me. I'm doing the thing I hate when people do is I just gendered a stranger.
You
and
just
here I
gendered
am.
Fresh Air's Terry Gross.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
How dare?
How dare?
Yeah.
Truly, how dare the audacity.
Truly, how dare.
Jesse,
How
do
dare.
you know who this person is?
No, I tried to pitch my own podcast crush, but I got the wrong enterprise. It's actually from New York Times.
No.
Yeah.
No.
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 I the only thing that's running through my head is the Jesse, you know this really intimately. Is Keke Palmer saying, "I'm sorry to this man's family. I don't know who this man is."
Well, I know it intimately
Sorry
because that
to
was
this
my
man.
meme.
Yeah, it was your
And
meme.
the
You were on
reason
that
that
set,
meme-
and
yeah.
you authorized
You
it.
were on that set.
I authorized that meme.
Are you allowed to
Like,
talk about this?
Shit.
Yeah, I never signed any NDAs at Congress.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so basically, remember how we used to talk about on Hamel Minute, like
Mhm.
how I had a ambiguous relationship to Jeb Bush?
Indeed.
So that rolls over into this story where I was
The
on
tabloid
set.
rags had a field
An
day. with
ambiguous
your-
relationship
Your
with
relationship
Jeb
with
Bush.
Jeb Bush.
I don't
It's
think
like-
anyone's had a relationship with Jeb Bush that's
A
not
behind
hella
closed
ambiguous.
doors relationship with Jeb Bush. His own
Absolutely
father
not.
has an ambiguous relationship with him.
Nobody with the name Jeb has any endeavors that aren't ambiguous.
Jeb. Exclamation
It's a
point.
great name. Okay, let's.
So great, you put an exclamation point after it when you're running for office. Sorry, Kat, you were
And if
talking
you're-
about
and
Jeb
if you're
Bush. Your
not-
illicit affair with Jeb Bush.
No, we never had an affair. That would be probably illegal in America.
Would you say that you were ghostwriting the Jeb?
I was not, but
Would you?
I would say other members of my family have assumed similar roles, but it's ambiguous. So the
Okay.
ambiguity in which I am to that person was made privy to the producers of this particular set, but they were the only two producers I ever worked with that knew this thing about me. And they were like, hey, Kiki's on set today. We're going to do this. We're going to try to do this joke. But we wanted to run it by you first, which that was the first and last time that anything was ever run by me on set. Like, no one ever wanted my opinion, never
What was
greenlit anything.
What was the paper of record you were working for here?
Sorry?
What
Publication?
media entity publication were you working for?
Vanity Fair, and so
Vanity Fair.
yeah, and so
Part of
they
Condé
they were like, so we're gonna like show Kiki a bunch of pictures of people, and she's gonna have to like say if she knows who they are or not. And one of them is Dick Cheney. Is that okay with you? And I was like,
Close personal friend Dick Cheney.
of course it's okay.
He and I go way back.
I was like, I fucking hate that man. Like, I hope she, roasts him. And then she did, and the rest is history.
Dick Cheney, that part that Christian Bale played? Is
My
that
favorite thing about
Oh my god.
my favorite thing about Christian Bale playing Dick Cheney was his speech at the Golden Globes or whatever, where he thanked fucking Satan for his inspiration to play Dick Cheney.
I can't-
the Satanist church was like, hold on, Satan's
They're like,
not that bad.
no, literally, that's literally anytime someone's like, man, I don't like, that's the devil, and I'm like, I personally find that offensive to Satan.
Me and the devil are tight, okay? You can't
We're
just
close.
go around.
we're close. I've got my. I won't get into it. We're close. I'll leave it at that.
I've made you some fan art.
Is
of
Satan
the-
like off camera going like, no, again?
I did sign an NDA, so I can't talk about it
In regards to Satan.
regarding my relationship with Satan. Yes.
You signed some,
I
like,
think saying
50
I have a
Shades
relationship with
contracts.
Satan is already a
Yeah.
little bit too much as far as
Jace-
what I'm allowed to
Yeah, you're
Jay
more
saw
like
the
friends
music-
with benefits.
Jay saw the music
I
video
can't-
for Montero. and
confirm
had
or
a-
deny that claim.
It's like,
Jessica.
excuse me,
Jay
who
saw the
is...
music video for Montero
this
and was
guy?
like, this was supposed to be a secret.
Excuse me?
Are we talking
So you're
about the
public
Montero
with
shoes?
Nas.
There's like 3 conversations happening.
Yeah, that's how this works.
That's the podcast.
The beginning
Yeah.
of every podcast episode is just the social
Is
networks
3
opening.
conversations happening. It's impressive because with like just 2 more folks online, it's more than double the insanity. It's kind of impressive how those numbers work.
Should we have like a pass the mic stick or like a cheer stick so that
No.
we all know when? Okay,
Kevin,
all right.
no.
No.
You got
No.
it.
I refuse.
You
No.
got it, babe.
Utter chaos. If something comes in, you just jump on it. Okay? If you the steak just gets thrown in the middle of the circle of 5 dogs, and whichever dog gets on it first gets to have the steak.
I have not been socialized to do well in this situation, but I will.
true.
I will persevere.
Yeah, Kevin, for an episode about queerness, that's pretty anti-queer of you. I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is, but we'll see what happens, and it'll be a learning.
I mean, now I'm legitimately curious. And if this is one of those Kevin got egg on his face, but he leaves it in the episode situations, well, we've done a few of those before. So, can you elaborate for
I'd
me
rather
if you
just
want?
watch. I'd rather watch the yolk drip, and then we'll revisit.
We'll revisit.
Understand.
Kevin, I'll
Can someone
give you the-
explain? Can someone
Kevin-
explain why there's yolk on my face?
I will explain later when it's not taking up time for talking about this fabulous episode.
This
Yeah.
fabulous episode. Oh, that sounds like someone just wants to dive on in.
Well,
Why would you think that?
short answer.
It's only been 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
Yeah,
in
but I
heaven
also made
and
us late.
Satan.
Short answer, yes.
Okay, well that's great, because this is, of course, Advanced Community Studies, a podcast where we watch and talk about the American television comedy show Community 1 or 2 episodes at a time. We are also the premier podcast in the Yahoo Screen Podcasting Network.
Yahoo!
Sponsored by AOL.
Sponsored by MSN Mail. And,
American Online.
America Online.
Do y'all remember Instant Messenger? Did any of y'all
What was
have,
everyone's
like-
screen name?
Yeah, I was
Name?
about to ask. Does anybody have an embarrassing screen name?
I grew up poor, so I didn't have that shit.
Caleb's answer, C also.
What about you, Ed?
I had an aim, but I
Yeah?
would rather not revisit my screen name if I can't avoid it.
I'll toss mine in there. I had Sparky JJ 1 2 3 4 5.
Whoa.
Because there were already 50,000 Sparky
You know,
Jakes.
the thing is, I don't even think that. I literally was just like, I need numbers. I'm gonna put 1 2 3 4 5. I like did the whole
Internet
thing
people
for no
have
reason. I probably
numbers.
could have just said Sparky JJ and it would have worked, but I was like, no, we do all the numbers.
Gotta fit in.
Jesse Cat, what was yours?
Yeah, you prompted us.
So the cool girls had animals, and either like soda or candy. And so there was already like Reese's Pieces gal was like taken and stuff. And so
Damn,
I was
that's the
kitty
prime
cats.
one.
I was kitty cats for Sprite, which is like a. You
Now,
just,
Kit
like-
Kat, where did that factor into this?
Yeah, there was already like I don't know. There was a popular kid named Kit that everyone had a crush on. So like I couldn't
That's
do
fun.
that.
Just didn't work. Damn.
Yeah, we only had like a few months where I was really in the running to date Kit, but I never actually made it past like the next tier.
You did not make it to the point where the two of you were sort of a one bar kind of situation that could then.
Yeah, we didn't. I was gonna say the snack that smiles back. I don't remember the Kit Kat.
Give me a break.
Break me up, baby.
Kat, give me a break.
I was never given a
Give
break.
me a break. Give me a break.
My break never came, and my big break.
We were on a break. Everyone loves Friends on this podcast, notoriously.
Joe or the idea of like having them.
Give me the second one. 'cause
Oh,
I'm
you're
not good
speaking
at-
Either
for
or.
us on this particular
Like,
the Friends series.
Yeah, I was
We
like,
all
this is
love Friends.
Yeah, we all love Friends. Which of the Friends are we, and which NPR host would we fuck? This is my personality
We've
test.
just managed to turn into a BuzzFeed quiz instead of a podcast tonight.
Great.
So look at us go.
That's my end
Oh,
goal.
man.
I am in fact a
2012
try
us
guy.
would be so proud.
I don't know. I think maybe I'm a Miranda, or maybe I'm a Carrie. I don't know.
I'm a Miranda. You know, when it comes to Friends, I might be a Miranda, or I might be a Leonardo, or I don't know.
I think I'm a Leslie Knope, honestly.
Yeah, of the Friends cast.
Yes, exactly.
I'm Paget Brewster from the Friends cast. But I am one of your hosts, TV's Kevin Lanigan, and I'll say, my pronouns are he, him, and I'll say it's a form of progress. 30 years ago, the most power the openly gay could hope to achieve is the center square.
Oh, is it me? Oh
Yeah,
my
you're
gosh,
next.
whoa, it's
We've,
me.
70 episodes in. You're second.
Well, okay, there's 2 extra people. I didn't know if we were doing anything like, I don't know. Anyway, hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? I'm Jace. I love that my intro is becoming more and more like a fucked up YouTube exposition.
Yo,
every single
what's up,
time.
fam?
I'm not going to steal Jesse Cat's joke in the hopes that they do it. But I use they, them pronouns. And, yeah, so as far as animals that have wings, yes, birds have wings, but so do insects! So there's that. Did I miss something? Am I forgetting how these intros go? It's been a minute. I've done my job.
In your own head
Okay.
for no reason.
Groovy, awesome. It's been a fucking
complicated.
these couple weeks. Yeah. Anyway, someone else speak, please.
I'm the third host, the daddy host, the hostess with the mostest kids. The pause is important. And I don't know. I'm a waste of a soul-shaped hole forgotten by God.
Oh, that line hurts.
Fucking burn.
It's such a fucking burn. I love it.
And we are joined by 2 wonderful guests this week, because I wanted to have a sort of, on this episode that delves into a particularly, like, modern set of queer issues. I wanted to have sort of a queer roundtable of people who might have interesting perspectives. So why don't y'all introduce yourselves, and we can start with Ed.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ed. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm the host of the Save Greendale committee, also about community. And I am at a total loss about what lesson to learn from any of this.
That's the most appropriate quote, maybe. Welcome to the show you're already prepared for.
Yeah, great. None of us know what we're doing at any point. Exhibit A. Jesse Cat, why don't you go next?
Hi, I'm Jessie Kat Scott, professionally Kat Scott from the Hamel Minute Patreon podcast, still available on Kevin's Patreon. And I use they, them pronouns. And what was the icebreaker?
We usually try and integrate some sort of quote from the episode into our intros.
I guess it was gay doesn't even begin to cover it.
There you go.
That's spot on for you, for sure.
Yeah. I'm not openly anything, and gay doesn't begin to cover it.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
does he describe it as? Like 2/7 of his identity?
Approximately 2/7 of what he is.
Which I
Yeah.
must say, like as a math
What's
nerd,
everyone's 7?
What are my
what's everyone 7? Ooh, give
7
yourself
identifiers.
label yourself 7 times.
Great, love labels. They're my favorite.
Kevin,
Love
you go
slapping
first.
them on
Go
myself.
for it. Do it.
Okay, great, because I spoke up first. Okay, label 1, bisexual. Label 2.
Hot.
Oh, are these labels I want or labels I just have?
You have complete
can-
control over the
yeah.
labels you put on yourself.
You're
Only
right.
you can label yourself. Nobody else can.
Okay, bye.
Hot. Love that for you.
Filmmaker. Human being. The double meaning in regards to community.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's sum up my entire life. Here we
got 4
yeah,
more.
we're at 3. Bad start.
They don't
okay.
need to be like all that serious if you don't want them to be.
That's okay. You know, I love ice cream. You know,
Ice cream lover.
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
I know a lot about signs and what they mean. And
Astrology fan. You got 1 more.
Yeah, astrology fan number 1. And you know, I can probably do 10 push-ups without stopping.
Moderately athletic. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Ed, you want to go next?
Do I really have to?
Apparently,
as the primary
Committed
host,
to this. We don't need to. I can go. I'll go next. Okay. Let's see. Trans. Jewish. Percussionist. Theater. Doer.
goer.
I'll put go inside of do. You know what I mean?
You
Verbs
could,
are
that's
weird.
2.
Yeah, I guess.
Your
yeah,
verse.
Okay. Goer,
You-
doer,
you-
theater maker. Want to add a third one? They're all just theater something.
Theater
recent-
ghost.
Ooh, I've got one. Recent video game player.
Whoa.
Oh.
Okay.
Why'd you say that like you were done? You've got like 3 more.
No, that was 7.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think doer, goer, and maker were 3, so I kind of cheated a little bit.
How is doer and maker
Yeah,
different?
those feel too similar.
Jace builds theaters by
Well,
hand.
no.
Jace going town to town.
No,
putting up
I as in like
theater
I
for the summer
perform, but I
stock.
also write.
Oh,
I see.
okay.
Okay.
A little sketchy.
Jesse Cat, Caleb, Ed, someone go next. We gotta do
I'll
this.
go. Fuck it. I'll go.
We don't have to.
I'm committed to this. I want it.
Jace
too
keeps
late,
using
Kevin.
have.
This is
Jace
who we
keeps
are
using
now.
must. I am not.
It's an episode about queerness, and queerness is about defying labels, so we should label ourselves. No.
I'm a gamer. I'm a journalist. I'm a voice actor. I'm a game developer. I'm a father. I'm a husband, and I have a not inconsequentially sized crush on all the Chris's from the Marvel Universe, but Chris Pratt.
Damn, got it.
Honestly, that's
pretty
a good. That's good.
That's a good
stuff.
stance. It's good
Yeah.
stance.
And Chris
Up-
Pine, who should be in the Marvel Universe but isn't.
No, he's in the DC extended universe.
He's just been
but-
carrying. They've been forcing him to carry Wonder Woman movies. All right, moves on.
Hopefully,
That's
he'll
great.
transfer over. We'll
Imagine
see
if
what
you
happens.
hadn't said like father. Just imagine if you got into the.
I was gonna forget.
I was
I was-
waiting for it. I thought it was gonna
I
be
was
the first
prepared.
one.
I was like,
It's like, hey, what's up? I'm
okay.
the daddy host, but don't you ever call me a father.
Well, father should also be combined with husband. I'm a family
No,
man.
not
We'll put
necessarily.
that
Those
there.
are two
A
very
family
distinct
guy?
differences.
I'm a family guy. Yeah.
Lucky, there's a family guy. Lucky
What do you
there's a
know?
man who positively can.
Yeah.
Ed and Jesse, I am allowing you to opt out of this. Okay,
I'm
the
not.
Cool, I'm the cool parent. You don't have to do chores if you don't want to.
I mean, I can go for it. I was just a little caught off guard because I didn't know we were all gonna go. But
I
No, I made it a
Neither
thing.
did
It
I.
does. We also don't need to take it seriously. I'm a little bit surprised that all 3 of us have been like very.
label
genuine.
yourself, but don't take it seriously.
Yeah, you could be
okay.
like, oh no, I'm curly, I'm goofy, I'm derp. Like,
I am
I'm thirsty.
grumpy. No,
Yes.
dopey. What are
Yeah.
the other 7?
it's just the dwarf. It's all 7 dwarf. That's
If I
enough.
could remember all of them, then I would name
All right,
them all. But
that's the new
Be
challenge.
dopies.
Does anyone think they can do all of them?
Grumpy, dopey, sleepy,
Sneezy.
goofy.
You're outing
Sneezy.
yourself as a
Goofy's
Disney
out.
adult by doing
they should have
this.
put
You're
Goofy
out of here.
as one of the dwarves.
Disney adult.
Grumpy.
He's a
dopey,
father. I think he gets a pass for
sleepy,
being a Disney adult right now.
That's
yeah,
true.
Please,
Yeah,
please. I can do the fucking Maui rap from Moana. I'm a Disney fucking dad. Don't worry about it. I just haven't watched this movie in fucking 20 years. Dopey, grumpy, sleepy, sneezy,
Doc?
drowsy? No, Doc is definitely one.
I am Doc.
Did we say sleepy already?
Yeah. Well,
That's
Jace,
fine.
you invalidated Caleb. It was a challenge.
Oh, I'm
now
sorry.
you're throwing him answers.
No,
I'm
just...
done at 5. I don't know.
Bashful.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay, there's one more.
Okay.
Prancer.
Grumpy. Dopey.
Dancer.
Prancer.
That's
Vixen.
Vixen.
Fucking reindeer.
Comet. Paul, George, John, Ringo.
Matthew, Mark, Luke.
John.
Gamora.
Sodom.
This is the best list.
These are my favorite. These
These are a few of my favorite things.
dwarves.
Sodom, Gomorrah, and
Oin, Loin, Biffer, Bofer, Bumper.
it's Owen and glowing, not Owen and glowing.
No.
Come on.
Nope,
Come
I
on.
Oh.
In the trailer, he said Oin and Gloin. Okay,
Yeah, I thought it was
so
Well-
Gloin.
it's Oin and
Tolkien-
Gloin. It's not
Tolkien-
Owen.
Tolkien
Oh,
rolled
I'm a
his grave.
My name's Owen. I'm a little dwarf.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Really coming after me. Wow.
Talk about a variant. All right. Well, let's. Unless Kat really wants to label themselves, or
Well, now
Ed
I
wants
feel
to
like
finish
I-
theirs.
I have
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
do you want
that's peer
serious
pressure.
ones for me too?
I want nothing from you except for you to have a good time.
Well,
Ruined
mission
that already.
Bad start.
Oh, all right, yeah. So yeah, I'll go then.
Yeah.
Okay, I am doing this podcast right now.
That's a label.
I am trans. I am non-binary. I am sometimes doing a podcast that I also post when I get around to editing it. I am a little high right now, and I have a pizza sitting next to me that I'd like to get back to when this is done,
Yeah.
or maybe even during, as Kevin.
I
during.
eat during the
During.
podcast all the time.
Um,
Full fan of eating while podcasting.
So I might turn around and grab that, and
Please
that's
do.
6. So I want.
Hungry?
I'm kind of dealing with that with the pizza. I'm
Hungry
I'm a
is
little more thirsty,
covered.
so I'll rectify that, and that's my 7.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
I am undercaffeinated. I am queer. I am a father
Oh, cat.
to a
Cat.
cat.
Cat Daddy. Good answer.
Yeah, we went to the vet today. I am a recovering cisgender woman. I am
That's such a fun way of putting that.
I'm sober. I'm tired, and I'm
Wow.
gay.
Bing
And
bong.
you're hot. You're also really hot. That's my.
Thank
for context, that's my.
That's editorializing.
That is a lover of mine.
That's the
It's
the
like an
section of the
asterisk.
interview, like the written interview you're
Hello.
reading, and the writer is like, when I asked them this question, they bit their lip in like a stoic way. And I'm like, is there something that you need to like get out in this interview?
No, we're
Like,
we're literally dating.
yeah, I know. I'm aware. Great. Okay, so let's now that there's been no ado, let's dive into tonight's episode, shall we?
Shalwa.
Let's do it. We shall.
We shall. So let's talk about Season 6, Episode 4, Queer Studies in Advanced Waxing. Directed by Jim Rash and Nat Faxon, written by Matt Lawton. In this episode, the school board comes forward and asks the dean to come out as gay when that doesn't begin to cover it. And eventually the dean has to admit that he's political. At the same time, Chang and Annie start doing a play version adaptation of The Karate Kid in a play directed by Jason Mantzoukas, who is definitely working out some stuff in this one. And also Elroy becomes the new IT lady, and he and Abed have to fix the Wi-Fi, but find a little nest of baby birds. So let's my suggestion here would be let's start with the B and C story, because I figure the A story is going to be the meatiest chunk that we're going to talk about here.
Can I posture one hopefully brief question?
Love posturing.
Okay, cool. Get comfortable.
Yeah, everybody, posture check.
I don't understand why waxing. Oh, I just
Wax
figured it out.
on, wax
Never
off.
mind. We're good.
Wax on, wax
I was like, why is wax?
Yeah, I literally got it just now.
I literally was like,
as
why
they were
wax? I was
describing
like,
the-
there's no mention of body hair in any
Yeah,
of this
I
episode.
just don't get it
understand
now.
why this old man is making me wax his car. This isn't teaching me karate.
I don't understand why this old man's making me wax his back. I don't want to do it.
Is this karate? The old man asked for a Brazilian. Is that karate? Okay. I thought capoeira was Brazilian, but okay. Yeah, excellent. So let
No, Kevin.
what? What?
Point to where he's wrong though.
I can't.
Excuse me. I am
can't.
waiting. I will sit here and let you find where I'm wrong. So let's open up perhaps on the C story. Elroy becomes the new IT lady, and he and Abed come across a nest of baby birds that Abed is worried might turn into a metaphor for his life. And this is a funny plotline. There's a lot of funny jokes here. As like a metaphor, it feels a little underbaked. I don't think they fully take this to where it could
a little
possibly
underbaked.
go.
It's also probably interestingly enough, out of all 6 seasons, the plot line that sticks with me the most out of any. I don't know what it is. When I think of Community, I think of Troy and Abed, all of that naturally, but that's more like a trope. That's like like an aesthetic choice that's recurring. The baby bird plot line, for some reason, sticks with me. And then when the dean later on, not to get too far ahead, which I'm going to, and I always do, when the dean's like, I'm so sorry, when talking about like birth in the Karate Kid, it just gets me. It's a perfect tie-in. I love it. So good. That's my comment. Please proceed.
I love the poking fun at the IT lady being missing.
Yeah.
Right, because that
when
was
Padgett's
a role.
sitting
Padgett.
right there.
Oh my god,
yeah.
that didn't register. I was
Yeah.
like, this feels like a joke, and I'm not sure I'm getting it.
And she's like, every time I send them an email, I get it back in Aramaic.
And when I call, I get an undulating, high-pitched whine that makes my nose bleed.
which last time we had a high pitched noise that made someone's nose bleed, it was Troy being brought out of the universe by how meta Abed was being.
So you think Troy is trapped in the computer?
No, I think it's just
No,
like
I'm just saying
canon
it's a
that's what
reference
happens when
to-
something gets too meta.
It's too meta, you're
Brewster
not-
calling Padgett Brewster in a different role earlier on in the show.
I see,
Yeah.
I see. The characters must exist within a fundamental reality, and when they push against that too hard...
But Doc, it's a paradox!
Are you saying that Troy is trapped inside the phone?
We have to go back to season 3?
God, can you imagine Back to the Future if either of those guys was 1% less good at delivering or receiving exposition? It would be unwatchable.
Can you imagine if someone tried to pitch Back to the Future today? They're like, here's the deal. This guy's gonna go back in time and he's gonna want to fuck his mom.
You know
That's
who
the
would
movie.
make that?
That's the whole
You know
movie.
who would make that? Dan fucking Harmon would make that.
I mean,
That's
do
absolutely...
you think Dan Harmon would still make that, or Dan Harmon 5 years
is
ago?
he not making his own version
Is Rick
of
and
that
Morty
with
not
Rick and
Exactly.
Morty?
No.
Like,
Yeah, Rick and Morty began as an online
and Marty.
cartoon short called The Adventures of Doc and Marty. Exactly,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it
yeah,
was...
yeah.
That's why they sound like Doc and
Yeah.
Marty.
But did Marty try to fuck his mom in the pre-Rick and Morty pilot? That's not a pilot, but
No, because he already did that in the movie. That's tread ground. You gotta go to darker places. You gotta...
I have heard, I haven't watched it, but I have heard that the original, like the Rick and Morty, like the original one
Mhm.
that he made is so drastic. Like the only thing that's similar to the actual show is the fact that they look at least a little bit like it, and that's like where the inspiration came from. And it's like somehow, I didn't know it was possible, but like 20,000 times worse. And
Oh,
so
yeah,
much
it's
more.
like-
Oh, it's...
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
my
like.
God.
But that was Justin
Marty-
Roiland mostly,
like-
right? That
like
wasn't
Doc
Dan
is
wasn't a part of that
trying to-
project at that time.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, it was
Dak-
both of them. It was both of them.
what?
Pretty sure Doc is trying to get Marty to suck his dick like the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's... That is the
Like,
premise
that's the
of the
premise.
pilot.
And Ed's just like,
Yeah.
just smirk, nod, just really do it.
Yeah, if you watch like Rick and Morty and you see like like a mental version of someone's sister like trying to have sex with the real version of the brother, and you think that's upsetting, don't watch The Adventures of Dr. Morty because it is viscerally upsetting.
I
It's
haven't
also
watched it. I
weird
don't
that Rick
plan
and
on it.
Morty is the most popular show on the planet Earth. It's very strange.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not good, but I'm like,
good.
everyone likes this?
I don't know.
Everyone likes the show?
The fan base is.
How aren't more
Garbage.
people offended by this?
All right, this is what replaced Game of Thrones? This?
I had the same. I was talking to someone today about this too. That with Game of Thrones, like I enjoyed it, but that baffles me that was the most popular show in the world too, because it can be really hard to follow, and it's also very hard to watch a lot of the time. So
The
it's just
first
like,
episode is one of the most off-putting things that
Yeah.
I've tried to watch Game of Thrones several times. I watch the first episode, I get 40 minutes in, and I go, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, it's different when someone says like the first season of like The Office or Parks and Rec is a little underbaked, because you're like, well, that's 7 20-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's like,
if I
okay.
want to watch it, it'll take me a couple hours.
I have to take
but,
an
like,
hour to watch some guy fuck his sister and push
Yeah,
a
an
child
hour to
off a
watch
building.
one
I'm like,
episode
what
of
is
Game of
this?
Thrones, and that first season is rough. So that's okay. But Elroy as the IT lady. This is where we get one of the iconic Keith David line deliveries on Community.
One of
Where
my
it's like,
favorite.
What are we up to? Mega, Giga, Terra. They did it. The bastards finally did
That's just why they did it.
It's such a good line.
Bastards finally
I love
did it.
it.
And the way he enters, just like belligerent about Donkey Kong. It's like, I know my design. That's construction.
I love the
Construction
beef that this
stick.
is starting to like demonstrate between him and Britta. Like, she's like, "Why would a snake be
Why would
throwing
a-
eggs?" And then he's like,
Why would a
"Why
mother
would
be
a
He just explodes.
So mad. So
Insects
mad.
have wings.
She goes, "Okay." Her reactions are also, mwah. Oh, they're
It's so
fucking perfection.
they just were able
Yeah,
to
it's-
mine so much out of just the concept of having a guy who could reference vague 80s tech often. Like they use it so often. They get so much comedy out of the fact that like he just like can make these references.
Fewer
That's great.
holes, more bites. Yeah, exquisite stuff. And when he goes on the baby bird murder monologue, and all they did was fight, eat, screw, and not invent Wi-Fi.
And I just went, just Abed calling him out. She goes, "You just gave a baby bird murder monologue."
Are you
It's-
a demon?
evil?
Did
Yeah.
Clive Barker write
Are you
it?
Did Clive Barker reach you?
Right.
There's no need to get mean. Shit. It's fucking exquisite. And the way this plot line ends up feeling very like season 1, 2 Community of me, or for the show, where it's like this one, it feels for a while that the plot lines haven't been intersecting in the way that they used to on Community. It's either we're all doing one thing, like we're all hunting for the ass crack bandit, or it's like, I don't know, Annie and Abed are playing a VCR game and everybody else finds a bunch of textbooks and they don't really have anything to do with each other. Whereas, like, the best Community plot lines are, like, the conspiracy chase leads you through the pillow fort, just, like, this intersects with both plot lines in a very nice, fulfilling way. Makes it feel like all part of a nice larger whole.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest issue with this episode is how it doesn't really attempt to tie everything together. I mean, a bit in the like finale with Chang, but only sort of. It just, I don't know. I find a lot of season 6 episodes in particular just don't really know how to end. They kind of just like I don't know, and that I think is also a factor like related to the fact that they're longer too, so they kind of feel more like, all right, we're done.
They are longer,
like,
aren't they?
Yeah,
They're
like, this
longer
is, like,
They're like
yeah.
8-9 minutes longer. They're like a solid 30 versus. You know what? It's because they went streaming and they
It's
don't
the
have
Yahoo,
commercials.
exactly.
It's
They
the
can-
streaming half hour, not the network half
It
hour.
didn't-
Yeah.
streaming
Yeah.
half hour versus network half hour. I hadn't thought about that. That's part of the reason why I was a little bit late today. I was like, okay, I'll need like 20 minutes, and then I hopped on. I was like, fuck.
Womp womp. There's a 28-minute. Yeah, they
like-
feel it's a little soggier now. They don't have to like rigidly cut everything to the number and to the letter, and
Which
in
has
some
its
ways,
positives, though. I think
Exactly.
there's
It
a
does.
lot of really good
Mhm.
jokes that normally would have been like cut. You ever see You ever hear about like Saturday Night Live and they're like, oh, this joke was cut for time and it ends up being literally funnier than everything else that they aired that night, but because the test audiences didn't really like it and it doesn't fit into their like boring ass cookie cutter that they've been following for the past 7 years, they cut it for time and they're amazing. It feels like, I almost just said Rick and Morty. It feels like Community, because of the slightly extended timeline, they can just be like, hey, Jim, you want to just like riff for a fucking minute or two? And then they can keep it, which is beautiful. I also really do love seeing Jim Rash's character get more and more and more and more and more every single episode, because he's brilliant.
He's so excellent. I think it's really interesting that he and his writing and directing partner Nat Faxon chose this as one to direct. You know, I don't know how those assignments were handed out, but as Jim Rash is a gay man, I don't know if he was out at this point. I don't
Really?
have.
I think he was.
I don't have a fossil record of.
Think he was.
Okay, he
I
was
would find
out.
it very hard to believe
that he wasn't.
that he wouldn't. This
I think he came out in like 2012 or
Oh, this guy's
2013. But I'm not totally sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I looked it up at one point.
Yeah.
Like,
and it wasn't. I feel like up until like the table read or something, I was like, wait, is Jim Rash gay? I don't know if I know this information.
it was one of those things that like I never knew concretely because I don't really follow kind of the individual like that when it comes to that kind of celebrity. Celebrity as a concept, not kind of like now, you know what I mean? But it was one of those things that I never really questioned. I was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, you know, it didn't bother me that he was playing a queer character, and I never questioned it.
Yeah.
And there are times when like I watch people like fucking James Corden. Aside from the fact that he just annoys me in general, anytime he plays a gay person makes me fucking furious, like viscerally angry. Well, to be fair, as I did mention before, anything he does makes me fucking angry.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
Is that,
No, we
is that
share
on
that,
him
yes.
or is that on you?
Yeah. No, it's definitely
No,
on
I feel
him.
the same
It's definitely on him. It's definitely on James Corden.
He's the worst.
Yeah.
He sucks.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
I wish he'd go away.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
Yeah, no, but I feel the same way, and people have used different words to describe what James Corden is doing, because there's often a particular way that, you know, when a straight person is playing a gay person, that they will play up certain aspects.
Oh,
and
you
it's
mean
like,
by lisping?
yeah, and prancing around, and all the great stereotypes. That
It's the SpongeBob meme. It's literally, is he?
Yeah.
The best. It's that, and it's annoying. To get back to Community, though, this bird subplot, I found probably my favorite Easter egg in the entirety of Community. This recent watch through, the Adirondack chairs, the lawn chairs, whatever you want to call them. They might not be technically Adirondacks or whatever.
But it's a Kleenex situation.
Yeah, something's a fucking.
It's all
whatever it
Kleenex,
is.
but it's not. Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever those chairs are, where they're like woven, right? I realized that the fabric, and it might not have even been intentional, but I am considering it to be intentional in my book. The fabric that's woven is a trans flag.
Oh.
The chairs are trans flags, and I was like, wait. I like literally paused it to like get a better look at it. I was like, is that? And it is like, it is literally a trans flag, like blue, pink, white, pink, blue. Like I was like, holy shit.
Now, sort of in your,
Did I get that right? Did I just fuck up the trans flag?
I have to see if this is the case, so I'm
If
I'm
this
looking
is
it up
accurate.
right
or
now.
what if they're like brown chairs and Jace is just like
No, I
You
swear
just
to
see
you,
it everywhere.
it was.
yeah.
Watch, I'm gonna be. Speaking of egg on face, right? Yeah, no, I don't. I swear.
Welcome to the Egg Face Club.
Hi, what's up? How's it going?
Hey, I'm the president of the fucking Egg Face Club. I do it
Okay.
constantly. Because I never.
It's not
shut the
egg,
fuck
Kev.
up.
It's mustard.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
but
now
then
you're
we
gonna
take
listen
him
to what I say.
seriously, Caleb,
right?
and we
Which
don't
would be a
do that.
mistake.
No. It's mustard because you're fucking Duncan, and no, it doesn't mean everyone listens to you.
Oh, I see. Lost my teas in the taco meat. But it's right.
Jace, you are not wrong. It's
the trans flag.
It's not literally the flag, but like all the colors are there, and like
Is it slightly? Is it a different order?
It's like two thick blue ones on the top and bottom, and then like a one white one in the middle with like a little pink going through the white. Yeah, but it's. Okay.
I saw something. I saw one of the vertical ones where it was like. It was I don't know, but it made me happy. I was like, woo!
Oh wait, I see what you were looking at, and like the actual
the vertical one,
part.
The vertical one that's like
it does. Yep.
I was like, that's fully a trans flag right there, and I was like, what?
Yep. Good catch.
So
Very good catch.
In your critical media lens, what are they trying to tell us?
Nothing. Not a goddamn thing.
Okay.
Absolutely a coincidence.
The thing is, this episode relies super heavily on the viewers having an understanding of who the Dean is from previous seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole setup at the end for him to be like a marginalized group that still doesn't get anything like that, and then he says politician, is very clearly identifiable as a misdirection. Like if you're familiar with like joke structures, right? It's very easily you go, this is a misdirection, and it's going to be something like that. But the thing that makes it super effective is if you do a misdirection where you start to describe one thing, but you're not really sure what the thing is, and then it's a surprise reveal, it's not a misdirection, it's just a surprise. This is fully taking advantage of the idea that every viewer that knows Dean intimately is going, he's a furry, he's a furry, he's a furry, he's a furry politician. And he never says, you know what I mean? Because the whole Dalmatian thing, this better not awaken anything in me, is literally our first introduction to a complexity in his identity. And so it's one of those, it's like a really long form joke that like pays off at the very end. And then of course, even the table. It is an interesting decision to have the table kind of go, oh, we're not going to invite him to the show tonight because we now know that he's a politician. And which is funny because, like, when the series started, they were always, like, especially through the lens of Jeff, it was always, like, the Dean's kind of fucking annoying but obsessed with us, and we're not really sure what's going on. And then they kind of got a little bit closer, especially towards season 5, and then into 6. And then to have that kind of original dynamic play back in. Just a fun little nod, I think.
And that the scene at the table at the end is like where Jeff is talking about. He's like, "Well, we're worried about it because deep down we all worry we're a little political, and it it's obviously like we're playing with a lot of different like engines here. We're working on a lot of preconceptions or what is whispered in hushed tones, and it's like actually it's 2015 when this episode comes out, so actually pretty much everyone's fine that he's gay. It's the politician thing that we draw a line at.
It depends. Literally, it's one of those things that we, especially as people that live in like New York and in other pockets of the country that have queerness that's not wholeheartedly rejected, we do tend to forget that there are you go to Indiana, that's fucking terrifying.
You're right, it is completely different depending on where you go, but like I will use my own hometown for reference, a tiny Missouri town of about 5,000 people, right? And like there were no out people in my high school. There were several people that everyone suspected, but no one was out. And I graduated from that high school in 2011. And a friend of mine who's in the theater department, who came out to me like right before I left, asked me to come back as their prom date in 2012. And so like even and that night this person was crowned prom king. So even in a tiny Missouri town, and obviously the story is not universal, and obviously there's still struggles going on everywhere, but even then, a gay kid won a rural Missouri farm town prom king,
right?
And that is a marked shift, but obviously also we're not done.
It varies,
it varies from case to case.
Yeah, I think the thing that is touched on in this episode, we've talked about it a little bit before, and this is why I'm excited that there are more queer people in this episode, is community sometimes, I don't know if it's intentional or not, I'm not even gonna try to put it on whether or not it was intentional because it doesn't fucking matter, accidentally touches on some really cool things. And the idea of associating queerness with being political is a really profound connection to be made, especially when it comes to the progressiveness of acceptance within the queer community, right? So let's talk about pride, right? Because it's a pretty clear connector for all of this. And the idea that Pride, in its current sense, the one that is most marketably and like popularly recognized and accepted and legitimately celebrated throughout several parts of this country, is devoid of a political lens, for the most part. There's a little bit of a political spin on it, especially depending on where you go, but it's drastically removed from where it started, which is an intensely political act. The act of trans women fighting back against police who were brutalizing them in a queer bar and throwing bricks at police. So the idea of like kind of playing the wordplay of like being political while simultaneously like touching on the idea that queerness is political and like how that's an issue, and the fact that Dean could have come I said Dean like it's his first name, but Craig could have come out as several things, and he came out as political. Maybe it was an accident. I find that to be kind of profound, because I think that there is something about being in a position of power while being queer that has the opportunity for you to say, this is bigger than this. Like, when it comes down to being gay, it's like, do you in its most simplest form, which is also, I find to be kind of doing a disservice to what gay is, or even queer is, pretty easy to understand. You say, oh, this boy likes boys, this girl likes girls, not to get into any additional gender stuff, which is a whole other conversation, but super easy to understand. But within that, there's internalized structures politically that affect these people. It's breaching into like a queer version of like critical race theory without being exactly the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, the context is everything. So I think it's really neat. I don't know. Am I talking out of my ass? I want to hear like Jesse and Ed say something about this.
Yeah. So it seems like we're on this main plot. It's the engine has brought us to the central story of the Dean's quote unquote coming out. And yes, let's anyone that has introductory thoughts on this, please, feel free to say your piece here at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I think this episode, when it comes to how it discusses queerness and queer issues, it's really, I think, a lot of media that is, I mean, maybe I shouldn't assume. I'm going to assume most of the writers in this room and, working on this episode, directors, we have Jim Rash as one of the directors, but, I assume it's mostly straight people working on this episode. And I don't necessarily think this was an episode, like, this isn't something that I feel like is like being written from a queer perspective. I feel like it's talking from the outside in. And I think with a lot of that stuff, and just sort of like, the baseline thing that's always talked about is like visibility and like representation, right. And like they touch on that very directly with the student who goes up to the dean and like says, like everyone assumed, but still it's like helpful to know. And like that really, like, I love that scene because that really touches on something that I do think is important. But we talk a lot about visibility and acceptance, and I think it's representation. Like, I think that's probably the most commonly discussed thing, because it's just like, oh, someone's come out, now we know there's more trans people in the world, and like, that does help. And that's like, but that's also easy for people who are cis and or straight to talk about. So I mean, I think it's interesting that you brought up Pride and like the political part of that as well, because like, there is something inherently political about just being queer and being trans and like being public and visible. And like Pride, if one thing, it's definitely effective at that. It's literally like showing a shit ton of queer people all existing, and there's something inherently political about that. But like the actual like the day-to-day politics stuff that you're talking about, that like, actually was the start of Pride, is what's always missed. Like actual like the brutality that people experience. This episode doesn't really, I think, attempt to get into any of that. I think it's incidental that it, that the political connection is made. I think you're right. It's definitely like, it's touching on something bigger. but
without getting into it.
Yeah, I mean, I always was kind of a little confused at about the whole shift at the end to the politician thing. Like, I think it becomes less. It's the episode shifting less. It makes the plot line feel like, oh, this wasn't actually about queer issues. This is about politics, which is of course important and like, you know,
definitely
still
a
related
common
to
theme
queer.
in Dan Harmon's work,
yeah,
too.
like definitely related to queer issues as well. Like, so I don't necessarily think that this episode is like doing a lot wrong as much as it's just not doing much in general. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Jesse, did you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I had some really good thoughts, and then I had smooth brains, so we'll see if they come back. I found one of the thoughts. Oh my god, I just got a Charlie horse. So one thought is I like what they're saying as writers, and maybe whoever had like a hand in developing the Dean role the most. Maybe someone was saying that there's a gay person.
Jim Rash, the guy who
show.
plays the Dean, yeah.
And directed the episode, yeah.
Yeah.
And directed
So
the
I
episode.
think so I'm sure Jim feels like that the Dean is a more complicated figure than just a gay. And I think at this time it was like, okay, you need a gay because Modern Family. And because, you know, there's so many like things where it's like, you need to check a box, you need a gay. And so I feel like this was like, I feel like this was a very tongue-in-cheek episode of being like, but I'm not a gay TM, like I'm faceted. And I've been developing myself through 6 seasons, and it's not gay to check a box. And then I think Gay Dean was like, oh my god, it's so catchy, but also like, but I thought it was it felt very. I know, like who wrote that?
Must have been a gay icon, honestly.
I have watched one person find
think
out
it was
that this was
Trixie
a
Mattel.
parody song, and I was like, "Wow! Well, congratulations on a new discography that is available."
I'm
to you
ashamed
now.
to admit I only realized like 2 years ago.
That's still, you got 2 years though. That's still pretty good.
That Dolly Parton was gay.
No,
was gay.
that
Dolly Parton is actually a drag queen.
Is a iconic bisexual. Yeah, so I think, I mean, that song is also like a classic, like tongue-in-cheek bender song for a lot of queer people. It's something that like that's queer coded, and so queer people watching that connecting it with it in a different way that straight people watching it would.
Sure.
And so I think it was like on the surface level a commentary on sort of the rainbow capitalism that was starting to really become obvious. Like it was like, okay, you have if it's 2015, then like you just got gay marriage, right? So like now we just need to put a gay person on everything so that people think we're cool and don't cancel us. And so I think this was like their tongue in cheek.
Do you think it's possible that maybe someone on like the producer side of things went, hey, we should try and lean a little bit more into this, and so they actively took the idea of tokenizing a queer character and made that the plot of tokenizing?
I can't speak to that because I wasn't on the writing
That
team.
sounds the most possible of any pitch I've heard so far, though, right? Just given Harmon as an entity, as a very complicated entity, obviously, but like that, if you listen to him talk for any extended period of time, everything becomes the one step removed. Like, we have a starting idea, and then it becomes about the idea that we originally had.
Right.
And it, you know, it's almost right. And I have not, you know, listened to anything that has proven or disproven this, but it almost feels like not a send up, but like a commentary on that idea. Is like, right here is our gay. And obviously the Dean's sexuality has been, you know, a giant fucking question mark over the show that they've never had any interest in putting words
I know,
too.
I
But the episode also wants us to ask the question of, is it important to know, like, quote unquote, what the dean is? Because that's Frankie's perspective on the entire
That's what I'm.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, please.
That's
Kat,
what I'm
continue.
saying. Yeah, I just feel like that's what Dean and the actor that developed the dean is saying is it's not really important to know what he is, and he's multifaceted, and you're looking at this show, and I don't think there's another overtly queer character, and so I think he's making a comment that like probably everybody else called him gay, but did he ever really? He never really took that on. He winked and nodded at things, but much like I didn't have the word non-binary in 2015, neither did this character. So, and I see a lot more of that in this character than I would for like gay TM, man TM. Like, so I think it was sort of pointing to
it's
that.
interesting. Oh shoot, I just lost it.
It's not that interesting.
Apparently, it wasn't that important. Right. It's interesting that like when you really take that and you reflect on the way that the character is portrayed, we see him hitting on Jeff ? Sometimes a little bit more explicitly than others, but it's also like when you think of him where he's like, oh, even his shadow is like moments like that, right? Iconically, like pretty hard to interpret any other way, but it's never directly self-labeled. That label is never put on him. We see him dragged, we see him gender bent, we see him flirt, we see him do all these things, but it could very easily be flamboyant, wants to be best friends with Jeff, so much so that like there's like a jealousy factor. Like you could, if you really wanted to, you could interpret it as some other way. And prior to this point, the word gay in this show was only used, one, with like Pierce trying to make it an insult and everyone being like, shut the fuck up, you're an idiot. Right. Or in the same exact context, but with Britta trying to kind of virtue signal on how okay she is with gayness, but still being kind of a dumbass about it. And so it's...
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just remembered a scene that I wanted to, like, highlight and ask about, which is... Who are they? They're doing the parade.
The school board guys?
They're in suits. Yeah. Yeah. So their, like, interaction with each other where they're, like, thinking about this for the very first time, it would be... I mean, it would, like, you saw where that was kind of going, and then they pivot, because they pivoted in a way that was very, like, classic of TV shows to pivot at the time. Like, almost gay, and then an obvious pivot. I think it would have been more fun if they had leaned in a more creative way.
Leaned in and kissed,
but
is what you're
kiss,
suggesting.
Do it.
Obviously.
Kiss each other.
What is that?
But I did like...
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I liked that because it wasn't the same kind of gay jokes that we had gotten before. It was much more like, oh, this is actually a cool lifestyle that we've just never thought of before. And then
Cutting women out of set.
Jinx. Yeah, exactly.
Such a gay statement to be like, I like sex, I don't like women. It's like, well, I'm pretty sure that is one of the textbook definitions of homosexuality from the male perspective.
One of the only criteria you need, yeah.
Yeah,
there's a lot of gay
much.
guys out there. I assume it's the appeal of the lifestyle.
That humor is also like really popular on TikTok right now, of like people figuring out they're queer from TikTok. Like, and they're like,
TikTok's
they're
teaching young
saying,
people
like,
a lot of shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and they're like vocalizing things that they like had been saying before but didn't connect the dots. So there's a lot of TikToks where they're like, I would just always say to people, like, you know, I would never want to marry a man. And if one of my best friends wanted to marry me, of course, but I'm not a gay. And so I feel like this is, even though it's like 6 years later, it's still like a very relatable feeling.
I mean, this
for queer people.
The show's like kind of a genre-defining piece of pop culture. Like you can feel the effects of the kind of humor from this show today. Everywhere, and it's really cool, and I think that's exactly what you're speaking toward. I just think yeah, it's just interesting because this episode is explicitly one where they discuss the act of labeling and self-identifying, which is basically like queer 101, right? Like, queer has several definitions, one of which is defies defies definition, defies labeling, right? Like, I think it's part of the reason why I was so adamant that we all did a little label thing at the beginning was because it felt relevant to this episode. I was like, there is power in being able to have control over the terms that you identify yourself with. Also, there's power in the ability to reject a label, right? And like, we can see, even within the political perspective, right? The idea of acknowledging it as a label, putting a label on it, right? Calling, gay, sexuality, like calling those things what they are, allowed for movement within the current, at least, legislation structures, right? Gay marriage would not have functioned had we still been existing with queerness as an undefinable kind of blurb. Marriage would still exist as a heteronormative structure, and queerness would not have been allowed to benefit from the governmental benefits of doing so, whether that be, being able to see each other in a hospital or, tax benefits, all these things that are structurally ingrained in the society and the government. But also at the same time, there's a question of...
Sorry, I meant to hit my mute button and I hit my Wilhelm scream button.
Which are
I've been muting myself constantly.
Literal
could
opposite.
not have found two buttons that
sorry.
do
I was like,
different
what is...
things.
I'm sorry. I've been coughing like nonstop.
No, you're all right. You're all right.
That's so funny.
That's
You put your Wilhelm button next to your mute button.
I've never realized the irony and stupidity of that until this moment.
Oh God.
Make the mute button bright red.
I could. I can program my keyboard.
Wait, what button did you press?
The Wilhelm
there's a
scream button
push
that
it
comes
again,
standard
Caleb.
with every
Hang on.
computer.
Caleb, push
I'll
it
do it
again.
What is this?
You don't know the Wilhelm scream?
I have a soundboard app that I use for when I stream, so I've got a bunch of sounds,
He
including
is part man, part pillow. All carnage.
the most recent one I added is one I'm very proud of, and it's Korg from fucking Thor Ragnarok.
Piss off, ghosts!
Man. Love that big pile of rocks.
Yeah,
The Wilhelm
it's-
scream is like a scream that's used in basically every action movie
It's
ever.
a scream from an old, like,
Western.
horror movie. Yeah,
Nope,
Western.
it's an old Western.
Okay,
you know
sorry.
who recorded it?
Me.
The guy who sang One-Eyed One-Horned Flying Purple People Eater.
No way!
Yes,
that's
that
great.
He's the one
guy.
that recorded it or the one that screamed?
He's the one that's his voice. And there's like 4 versions, and it was him trying to capture what the director called being surprised. It was a guy getting bit by an alligator while crossing
Yes.
a river, and that's the noise we got.
Yeah, and then it fell
It's in-
into the sound library at Skywalker Sound. It ended up in every
It's in
Star
every
Wars, every
Star
Indiana
Wars movie.
Jones.
Yeah.
It's on Community a couple times. Like it's just a thing that you hear
It's like
constantly.
a meta
It
joke.
honestly, it takes me and it yanks me out of whatever I'm watching. I just
Which
there's
is
nothing-
exactly what it did in the podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It just
I'm
completely
fucking
ruins my
sorry,
train of
okay?
thought.
No,
my
it's good.
emotional
It's good
sense.
because
Ruined
I'm
everything.
out here like fucking waxing poetic, like I'm the most important person in the room, and I'm not. So honestly, like I needed something to tell me.
How
to
many
shut
other
the fuck
people
up.
are in the room with you right now? 0? Is you alone in that room? Over
Okay, the Zoom room. Whatever, Kevin. Yes, I'm alone.
Can I?
Okay, who's the most important person in the room? Go.
Most important person in the Zoom.
In the Zoom, the most important
Zoom.
person in
Yeah,
the Zoom, I'm gonna
who's
say is
number
the
one?
Godzilla in Ed's background. That's my final answer. Thank you so much.
Great. The Criterion collection of Godzilla films.
I agree.
I agree.
I'm never
actually.
gonna answer this question as me, so we'll
It's the
just get
Godzilla.
that
So.
out. Never.
Can I do a little spiel about this episode?
Nope.
Well,
Caleb,
all right.
nope.
Well, good night, everyone.
You knew I was gonna fucking do that. You knew I was gonna do that.
I just, if anyone was on a train of thought that was not interrupted by the Wilhelm
No,
scream,
I
I
literally
wanted them
have-
to be able to
I've
continue
said
it
what I
before I
needed
start.
to say.
Before I start with my horse hockey.
ahead.
So this is one of my favorite episodes of the entire show. But I'm also glad we have people on the pod that are less like overtly enthusiastic about it. And the nexus of it for me is that scene where, like, the dean calls the Jeff and Frankie into his office to discuss the, like, not necessarily the morality of this, but the implications of, like, the action that is being called. And there's something that happens so often with queer culture, and we experienced it recently with, you know, all the discussion of kink at Pride that happens constantly every fucking year,
Yeah.
as if whatever happened to holding your kid's hand and saying, "Oh, they're wearing a costume"? Whatever happened to that? But anyway, I'm not a father, so
It's not that hard to.
It's not that hard, and also
And
like
also,
a lot of
like,
it's just
if my daughter asked me, "What's that?"
they're friends.
That's
no.
There's like no age that you would have to have that conversation with your kid
You're a
until they
parent.
would understand it. Like if they're 10, 11, 12, still not getting it, just go, and they'll fucking forget.
Literally,
about it.
3 words. They like it.
They like it.
Yeah.
It's their. Yeah, I don't hear
It's
it.
fun for them.
Also,
Get fucked, nerd.
I'm sorry, if you're bringing a small child to basically a celebration of revolution.
Sorry.
It's tied with the fact that we've innately sexualized queerness and the
Correct.
idea that kink has to do with like a perversion of sex and we're gonna destroy the children. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. They're wearing leather. Let them wear leather.
Yeah, it's
They're
based on just overt homophobia that like gayness is going to inherently corrupt your child.
Because prior to any sort of representation thing we were talking about earlier, the only time anybody saw anything gay was in gay porn. So
sure,
they
or in
gayness,
movies where gay people were, you know, overtly like predatory,
sexualized,
you know, like,
exactly. So they were either villainized or they were sexualized. And quite frankly, that's
in America, there are 2 kinds of people: people that really like sex and people that are really fucking creeped out by it. Basically, and what that means is the people that really like it have to really try not to creep other people out that are creeped out.
They have to.
Without- you know
It's
what
not
I
that
mean?
they're
Like-
trying to protect those people. They, in order to maintain their safety and security.
Oh, I didn't mean like they're doing it to protect them. I meant they're doing it so that they leave them alone. Basically,
Like, I don't want to die, so this gonna maybe not. But then you have to tone yourself down for their safety. It's a whole thing.
Right.
But that's what the Dean does in this episode. The Dean tunes down who he is in order for a bunch of other people he labels himself in a way that is not fully encompassing for political gain in order to
Tune
make
down
things
for
easier
what?
for other people and to make it more accessible for other people to understand. And that is a perfect parallel to what like the queer struggle historically has.
Absolutely. Right? That's kind of what I was going to end up at, is that, like, you know, as the tenor of America, you know, most parts obviously, you know, extrapolate from my words, but like as the tenor of America shifts to being more accepting of the LGBT plus community, obviously on like a very slow graded scale, but like the version of the community that people, you know, that the other side of society is willing to accept is the safest, blandest. Like what they see as Pride is the Capital One in Union Square has rainbow shit all over it for a month. You know, that's what they want Pride to be. They don't want anything actually revolutionary. And so in this episode, when like the Dean quote unquote comes out as gay, they hire like a husband for him, because you can't just be some single gay man who knows what he's getting up to. You know, they hire Domingo, who is like this guy that Craig doesn't even like, but like you have to present as a public face, which is also overtly political, as basically anyone running for office will tell you. You're more likely to get elected if you're a family person. And that is just unfortunately that's what any political advisor will advise a candidate to do, is present as, you know, quote unquote a good family member. And the way that this gets sanitized out, and you know, this episode is perhaps less about queerness and gets into Community's obsession with labels. All of these characters from the pilot start with labels. You're the lawyer, you're the old man, you're the black woman, you're the, you know, it's
use it as a device in a few episodes when in the Western paintball episode.
Exactly. And race and labels are constantly applied. And if you listen to, again, Dan Harmon talk for 5 minutes, he will get on to like the concept of labels, and Community's relationship with labels is dubious. There's some occasions where they label something and it doesn't really go particularly well, and there are a lot of occasions where, like, we never put a word on Abed's social status. I never know how to phrase this, and that's my own personal failing. But, like, we never put a word on, Abed's mental faculties. We never put a word on the Dean's sexuality. And pointedly, and it gets brought up many times this season, we never put a label on Frankie's sexuality or identity. And that is the perspective she brings to the room in this episode, right? Is that, like, are you, once someone comes out as something, or once someone presents themselves as something, especially if you are a group that varies from the norm that has been forced onto us, you are suddenly a representative for the entire group. Suddenly, if you are publicly gay, you now represent every gay person, and every action you take is a reflection on the entire community, and it happens to every person of color, it happens to every, again,
Trans people, yep.
It's you are suddenly the representative for the community, whether or not you wanted to, or not. Frankie asks, are you ready for this identity, which isn't even yours, to be an aspect of your role in society? Because there is a difference between, people talk, between, like, and actually coming out and putting a word on it. And human beings are conditioned to enjoy labels. And I do think you have to intentionally fight against that to experience a broader idea, and to not intentionally box yourself in. And all of this is just routinely fascinating. And, take my perspective on it for what it's worth. I'm bi, but I'm cis, and I'm white, and so, like, I can still, I'm bi, but I'm like I'm straight passing. I can have this sort of outside perspective and be able to view it sometimes as, like, well, look at this intellectual exercise that Community is undergoing. Isn't this fascinating? But it's also like this episode is also not interested in diving into queer issues beyond what happens when you become a public version of a word. And I just, all that's really fascinating to me. I agree that the switch to being political, it doesn't quite work in the context of queer issues, but from the context of this being an episode about labels, I do understand it, because it's suddenly like, we want our politicians to be regular guys, get a beer with them. But obviously any thinking person knows that, like, no, every action they are undertaking is political. Every picture they are having
the
snapped
smartest part of Donald Trump's campaign was the fact that he pitched himself as not a politician.
Right, because people hate him. And that's why the politicians always win. Oh, they do always win. Yeah, anyway.
It's that.
All that's fascinating to me. I'm done. Anyone else can please speak up and rebut me if you want.
But
yes.
I think, like, it's weird. I don't remember them ever saying queer in this episode, but they label it as queer studies.
No, they don't.
Do they say queer?
No, I don't think they do.
They don't, but it's also...
Which makes sense, because it's not really a queer... It's, like, sort of like a... They're, like, exploring the gay label, and they're doing that through, like, he's queer, but it's sort of like... I feel like they're saying he's queer by labeling it that way as the episode title, but it's not actually... He doesn't take that term either. He doesn't. I don't think he uses queer.
Well, it's also...
So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's also like a really bizarre etymology thing. Like, the word queer, especially in its, like, social context, especially in, like, even in 2015, with older gays, queer was more contextually kind of like a slur, almost. Like, it was used as, like, a very violent thing to yell. And queer as a term of liberation, as a reappropriated term of endearment within the community, is a bit more of a current thing, as queer theory has entered a bit more of a mainstream lens. So, like, it was... So when queer was first starting to not be, like, just an insult, basically, queer was used almost exclusively to describe gay people. Not by queer theorists, of course, who oftentimes defy
It was a pejorative label to throw at gay people.
It was a pejorative, but then also when it was no longer as much of a pejorative, queer wasn't as expansive of a definition in the minds of most as it truly is. And now it's kind of really fully kind of blossomed into this, like, we defy labels. Yes, we include sexuality and gender and kink and age and demisexuality spectrum, the ace spectrum of things. Like, it's a lot more all-encompassing, and it also intersects with other identities. So it is a really cool snapshot of that moment where in 2015 saying queer studies was their way of being like, it's a gay episode, when you say queer studies now and people are expecting a much more expansive, all-encompassing idea.
Well, I think also they use titles of like they're harking to what you would see in a
course book,
curriculum guide.
Right.
And so queer studies is a field.
And at that time, it was just gay studies, basically. Like, you would probably read Jean-Paul Sartre, and that's
it was
about
queer
it.
theory and queer. No, it was queer theory and queer studies for sure in 2015. It's just that I think like it is an academic course of study. Yeah. And at my school, it was women, gender, sexuality studies, because I think in Bible Belt there's still a negative association to the word queer, but in more coastal, like liberal arts schools, it was queer studies, and then they're queer theorists, etc. So they identified that way. So by using it, I think it was interesting. I don't think too much thought was put into it that I'm putting into it now, but
that's what this podcast is about.
Yeah, but I do think like they didn't say sexuality studies, or I guess maybe they couldn't, or
no.
Yeah.
I just think they had options and they chose an interesting one considering it's never said.
Mm-hmm.
Even by the episode, this is not an episode that will end with the dean putting a label on what he is. He puts a politician label on it, but that does.
But that's literally a joke.
It's a completely different.
I do think
idea.
it ends maybe it ends closer to how the dean identifies, which is these strange cat creature masks.
I think that's way closer than gay. I think
furry,
wearing cat creature
the furry box,
kin,
I think.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Right, but yes, this is an episode that becomes about the nature of labels and not. It doesn't become a very special episode about the dean.
Which I guess
coming
in that
out.
sense is
in that sense,
like, line for line queer.
Mm-hmm.
If you take it as an episode about like the necessity or use of labels, and also taking the dean, who's very much not like a single, like when he says in the beginning, like he's not one thing, and yet they force him into this one thing so that he can be part of this specific demographic they need to fill. It feels more like it's a study not of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. My brain lost it halfway through. It just feels like taking the dean, putting him there, making him act like this, and then making the episode be about.
So what the fuck? Who's Domingo? Where did this come from?
Domingo is so funny the way he'll just be in scenes and we didn't know he was there.
they pan out and he's sitting in the corner and you're like, oh, okay.
Hey,
but that's
Domingo.
literally what he did
He's
also
just, like,
in the
playing
show.
Solitaire in the corner. So. Or when he's like,
Okay,
move the nest, please. And Domingo just like pops him. He's like,
I feel like I love that he says, I feel like you're breathing for me. For me. It's exceptional.
Right?
work.
And then there's that.
Find
There's
yourself
this
to your
scene.
role, Domingo.
and there's that scene where like Elroy and Dean get into like a label competition, or like they're like, oh, it's two security guards coming after an unarmed black man, and he's like, oh, it's one unarmed black man versus one unarmed openly gay dean. So it's like, if this comes to blows, who will be the most sympathetic in the view of society?
Right, which is a fascinating like concept,
Yeah.
because the idea of like the quote oppression Olympics is it's a fucking thing when it comes down
I'm sorry,
to like
just surprised. Words surprised me. That's all. I'm sorry.
that's where I was going with that. But
I feel like I've heard it before.
oppression Olympics, yeah, I mean it's a thing. I don't know, like has anybody else heard that before?
Yeah,
I've
I've
heard that
heard it.
term before.
Obviously.
The
Yeah.
queers are like, clearly, duh. But like, yeah, that's a thing. And when it comes down to it, and it feels in like direct opposition to like the work of Kimberly Crenshaw. It's like it's not a hierarchy. You cannot view any identity without the context of all the identities, right?
And the Chang plotline, which we haven't discussed,
really
also is in its own way about labels and about like Chang. Since his first appearance, since his first monologue, has been obsessed with like, what does the label of being Asian automatically make people consider about me? That's his introductory monologue. It's like, why do you teach Spanish? Why you?
I have to imagine that the actor that plays Chang, right? That's his name?
Chang. Yeah, he describes this as one of his favorite Chang plot lines.
I imagine
this is something that he interested in.
Had to kind of greenlight the choice of Karate Kid Community Theater. And since I am going out at 11, I just want to say, we still have 20 minutes, but I want to say that Community Theater and then Community TM Theater is like my favorite, like bad, Waiting for Guffman, like Wet Hot American Summer theater is my favorite thing to watch. And so
I just want to say that the campers you're about to see suck dick.
Yeah, like it is my favorite thing to watch.
Oh.
And so I was really pleased that we were going to get a little bit of that. And I also want to know if I just lost his name. But the one who's the director, I'm wondering why
Jason
doesn't he
Mantzoukas
have a vehicle yet? Because he's like the guy in everything. And
from
he's
The
so
Good Place.
funny.
And
where's his vehicle? Because he's like he's on.
He was literally in a movie about a vehicle.
He's in so many things, and he's not the lead.
Fast and Furious 9?
Tony, oh god, I wish he was in fucking. Oh my! Transformers. Put him in Fast 10, your sequel, seatbelts, and he's like, you have
put him in F10.
You know, you
so.
I just remember him in like a million
Strap
things. He was in Lady Dynamite. Is one of the most like
Good Place, Parks and Rec. He's been on every show. Like he was a huge UCB guy, and then
I love Lady Dynamite.
The League, where he's like Rafi.
Big Mouth.
I feel like he's maybe the most popular character on that.
He feels
show.
very
He's
UCB. He feels very like 2015 was his pocket, and UCB was at its height. Like that, it feels very that.
He's almost a little much to be the star. You know, he's big.
He just yells the whole time.
Always great. I'm always delighted when he shows up on some show I watch. I love Derek. I love Derek. Or what's his name? Is like his perfume magnate on Parks and Rec was always very funny. Feinstein. I can't remember the character's full name. But he's always fucking. Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where he plays Adrian Pimento. Like he's just got so many like fucking excellent fucking appearances. Someone made.
Oh my god! I forgot.
We need a wild card.
He's
That's
a ringer.
why, like,
They pull
give
him in when they're
vehicle.
like, we need a guy to be just the worst.
I meant to look it up. A fan of ours made a Jason Mantzoukas D&D alignment chart, and I want to see. I want to see if I can find it.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, he's fucking great, and Ken describes this as one of his favorite Chang plot lines because
he have a hand
he's
in
a
it,
trooper
though?
through a lot of.
Did he have like?
He must have.
Because I feel like it would have been nice for them to be like, okay, what is the like work that has haunted you in this industry, given your identity, and for him to be like Karate Kid, I think is like a great like you get to choose the piece that follows you and you can't escape from. For me, it would be playing. It might not be noticeable now, but I used to have drunk boys at parties always come up to me and tell me that I looked like Heather Graham in Boogie Nights. And so for me, it would be doing something where it's just like a terrible community theater production of Heather Graham and Boogie Nights. Like that would be, I would be able to like work that muscle out and be done. And so I feel like that this episode was nice because he got to like lean in.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually watched Karate Kid last night as like homework for this. We ended up not really discussing this plotline and all. I'd never seen it. I was like, let me see if I can understand more of this episode if I watch the Karate Kid. You know what? Good movie. I'll say it. I'll say it.
I've never seen it, but I did think it was a really, really, really smart move from the team to have Annie Kim come in as Daniel, because
Yeah.
it simultaneously addressed several things at once. It addressed our Annie's feelings of inadequacy in comparison to her. It also addressed Chang's fear of being cast just because he was Asian in this role, and of casting an Asian girl as it hit so many tiny little pockets of all of these things. It was a really exciting full circle moment, because that also is in that casting is defying several labels.
Okay, so anyone
Absolutely.
who
And
was a
subverting.
theater kid, describe your terrible director and maybe one of your worst stories of.
Yeah, like I said, I think Zooks is working out some shit. I think this is
without
a
a
guy
doubt.
that he has been.
Tell me your
worked
worst.
under.
But they
I
also
wanna hear
imply that
that.
it was working.
I want to hear a bad story.
But I had, when I was in high school, I did a show. I'm not going to name names.
Yeah, please don't.
And
Coward.
Because you're a politician.
Howard. I was not the subject of this, but there was a director that threatened to and acted upon being upset with what was happening on stage and then screaming, "I will throw my keys at you," and then
Wow.
throwing said keys onto the stage
Wow.
at a human being.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun.
So that's a fun one.
Nice.
This episode comes out like a year after Whiplash comes out, and Jason Mantzoukas is wearing, the J.K. Simmons black T-shirt. So I imagine this is like a homage to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
That's what I
definitely
was
what that
thinking
is.
of, yeah.
My theater teachers were much more of the passive-aggressive aspect of abusive. There was not a lot of yelling. There was a lot of insufferable other varieties of behavior. And things that were demanded of us, but in like a, oh yeah, okay, well, like that tone of voice. But I've not been screamed at. That is why I quit sports. Actually, that was the decide. I was like, I don't like being screamed at this much. Actually, this is not.
That's also why I hated
I don't
sports.
respond to this well. I don't
I'm
think.
confused.
Yeah.
Isn't it a game? Aren't we supposed to be having fun? This isn't fun. I don't like this.
That.
Yeah.
Where'd you find that recording of me when I was quitting?
That's
Yeah,
so
I
weird.
know.
Middle
Caleb,
school
was that
basketball.
on your soundboard? How did you?
Kev, if you want to, while editing, find that, clip it, and give it to me. I will make.
Oh my
it a
god,
part of my
please put that on the soundboard.
Right, and I don't know if it affects the label aspect of this episode that like Ken Jeong is a Korean man who's playing a Chinese man who is in a play playing a Japanese man. I don't know. I can't. I don't feel adequately.
That's totally intentional. I
Aspect
bet money
to-
that Ken was like, "This is fucking."
No,
weird."
exactly.
This is funny.
Yeah,
Right, and when
That's
when
why
I
I think
had
he had a
Otter
hand in
Lee
it.
on the show, sorry, Kat, go ahead.
that's just why I think he had a hand in it because he like knows,
It's,
Right.
it's what I was saying earlier. It feels like these episodes with Yahoo Stream, they're kind of like, look, we're not the original cast anymore. We need to make sure this cast does what the cast does really well, and they kind of gave them a little bit more of like that free reign, that kind of that impetus. I mean, we're literally watching Jim Rash write and direct episodes at this point. Like there's and improv was always a huge part of the show, but I think Jesse, I think you're totally on to it. Like I think there's no way that Ken didn't have some sort of like
It was
direct
definitely
impact.
Ken had gone to Dan on several occasions throughout the seasons and asked for better qualitative plot lines for this character, because he had been a trooper through some fucking rough Chang plot lines over the years, and directionless or fascistic or any number of different directions that they've taken this character. And he is not one of the major characters of season 6. Honestly, as much as I love this season, there's kind of a aspect to it where I feel like it fails a lot of the old characters and focuses on the new. Like, this is not a particularly good season for Annie or Abed or Britta. Chang gets some good stuff, but he's really
They're
just kind of
playing
like
with their shiny new toys. For
exactly. It's a Jeff, Dean, Frankie, Elroy season, and everyone else is kind of also there and also gets some good stuff over the point. But Ken had gone to Dan multiple times and been like, hey, can we like make this guy a human? Can we like get into like what this guy's all about? Can we remember that episode where like we met my wife? That was interesting. and that was it. For anyone who was left in suspense regarding the Jason Mantzoukas alignment chart, don't worry. did find it. Put it in the Zoom chat. Created by Nicole Nell, community Twitter favorite. Let's see. Let's read it out. Lawful good. I'm not actually sure what this is in the top. I feel like it's from that movie Sleeping with Other People. It's some like indie where Jason Mantzoukas is actually playing like a human, which is odd for him. Neutral good is his big mouth character. Chaotic good is Adrian Pimento from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Lawful neutral is the character from this episode of Community. True neutral is Derek. Maximum Derek. Chaotic neutral is Rafi from The League. Lawful evil is Dennis Feinstein from Parks and Rec. Neutral evil is the TikTok man from John Wick. And chaotic evil is the Mucinex.
Shit. He's in John Wick. Fuck
He's
me.
in one of them.
What? He's the mucus man?
He's now the mucus man. He wasn't always, but I think
of like Mucinex.
It was someone
or whatever.
Yeah, Mucinex.
Wow.
Yeah. He lived in that little shit apartment inside your lungs or whatever.
That's
whatever
so
the premise of those commercials.
Yeah, I think about it all the time. I think about that.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Wow. Such an influence.
Well, I feel like we're kind of coming to the end here, and I'm very thankful to our two guests. This is usually the point where we rank the episode and end tag, but also both of you have expressed interest in getting out. Well, the getting was good, so I will open the door for your plugs and your graceful exit. Exuent pursued by a bear.
I like I said at the beginning, I'm Ed, and one of the hosts and the creator of the Save Greendale Committee podcast, which is also a podcast that talks about community. We have not moved nearly as fast as this show, so we're still at the end of season 2 right now. Going to be wrapping that up soon. I'm not sure when this airs, but by the time it does, we might have already. We might be right up by the paintball episodes of season 2. We're towards the end there, so we're wrapping that up, and then we'll keep going. We do one episode per episode, so check that out. And you can follow that at SGC_podcast on Twitter. If you want to follow that, as well as just looking up the Save Greendale Committee on like any podcast platform, and you'll probably find that. And my Twitter is at @eWillshire Prime, Willshire with 2 L's. So if you want to find me individually, you can also do that there. So thank you. Thanks for having me on.
And thank you for joining us for this great discussion. I'm really glad we ended up doing this. This is not as like chaotic in a bizarre, funny way as it usually is, but I'm glad we like had some fucking discussions about topics. So thank you. And Jesse Kat, do you have any you want to plug yourself?
What's up, you guys? I'm Jesse Kat Scott.
I was waiting for it the whole episode.
I know, because at the beginning I didn't do it, so that was for Jace. I'm Jesse Kat Scott, using they them pronouns. I recently dumped all of my podcast projects of the last 5 years that are like unpolished. But we love to see it. They're archival, if you will. And they're all on my old Twitter that I am rehabilitating at Queer Stream, like Babbling Brook Stream. Ooh, pretty. Like, look, there's a stream. Queer Stream. At Queer Stream is my Twitter. And I'm also technically on TikTok. I think I'm Jessie.the.cat.scott. And all of this is sort of an experiment in my voice changing while I'm on testosterone. So it's like, fun archival stuff of me being me. And then I'm private on Instagram because I'm still a teacher. So like, don't DM me unless you're cute. And that's it.
I fully support this.
All right, fantastic. I don't know if our guests will continue to join us or duck out, but let's get to our weekly rankings, shall we?
I guess if we're there,
figuring out.
Okay,
how to rank on Zoom. Figure it out. So the season 6 end tags have been completely dominant so far, just absolutely wrecking the competition. This one is not. This one is cute, where they're sending off the baby bird and everybody's wearing the cast mask. I think this is going to by far be the lowest.
It's the weakest punchline. It's the weakest punchline.
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot what happened when I was rewatching. I was like, oh, does the bird get eaten by a hawk like instantly, and then it lands in a transformer or something? And I was like, okay.
Sort of just a cute bookend. It's one of those end tags where they're like, oh, we need to end the episode.
It hardly feels like a typical tag for sure,
especially in season 6 where they've been avant-garde short films up until this point.
Legit.
So I'm looking in the zone, like the questions for LeVar Burton zone from the season 5. What do we think? Maybe we'd go
not quite as good as questions for LeVar.
I agree. I would go down a tick from here. What about dinner with LeVar? We keep comparing this to LeVar Burton.
I think LeVar beats all of these, quite frankly.
LeVar beats everything.
I think spaceships beat this one. I don't think Troy and Abed find a baby beats this.
And Abed find a baby.
Wait, which one?
That's where they walk in the study room and there's a baby in the middle and they start like assigning roles to themselves and how they're going to deal with it. And then the mom gets up from under the table, grabbing a dropped pacifier and picks the baby up and walks away.
Yeah. It's weird.
That's right. It's so right.
I like the rotating bookcase one, number 55.
I do like that one.
That one's cute.
That one is
What's
really
Puppet
cute.
Daybreak?
What's Puppet Daybreak?
Well,
I guess we found what it beats.
That is at the end of the puppet episode where the puppets sing Daybreak.
Yeah, it's
so it sounds like okay. Sounds great. New number
and
56.
We found our winner.
Goodbye, baby.
I said
bird.
ding, ding, ding,
ding, ding. All right, Rocky 3 for all you folks out there. All right, so let's rank this episode. Okay, can I just start with frankly insane opening salvo? This is a top 20 episode of Community for me. Easy.
I somehow agree.
I'm looking at like 11. You know, that's where I don't like better than geothermal escapism. No. But
not better than app development and condiments.
Probably true. Intergluteal numismatics, which is the ass crack bandit.
I could put it above Phys Ed, maybe.
Yeah, I would put it above the Law and Order episode personally, but I also am not as hot on that episode as most.
I fucks with the Law and Order episode.
Yeah, y'all fucks with it hard, so
fucks with it. But I would also maybe put this above it, so you know,
heavily.
No, could be convinced. This episode obviously has a lot more going on thematically than the Law and Order episode, which is really just like here's a bunch of jokes,
right? Sure.
But those jokes are pretty fucking funny. Like
they're good fucking jokes. Hey, whoa, put some respect on
fucking jokes, you know.
Fucking a minute. It's really like, you know, that one is in the vein of conspiracy theories, where it's like, there's no substance here, but God, these jokes are funny.
Put some respect on conspiracy theories. Fucking bad.
Exactly. It's an incredible episode. But yeah, if we're putting it up against like physical education, I think I would give this a slight edge, perhaps to the number 14. Yes, I love how insane you two also are. Although I should probably stop using.
You have no idea.
I'm trying to make a conscious effort to cut that.
We're all a little crazy.
You don't have to be crazy to work.
That was a perfect Mark Hamill Joker.
That's the Joker I practiced. Fell for the old fake Joker gag again. It's the Joker I can do.
That's really good. Whoa.
Wow. You should kill Mark Hamill and take his job.
For me, and then I can just continue it.
Yeah, just take
kill
it
him.
You don't need to kill him. You can just wait for him.
And also my favorite, I think my favorite Mark Hamill Joker is Arkham City Joker when he's sick. Because I love when he it's the fucking best.
Yeah, it's so
it's the
good.
Fucking best.
Raspy coffee does. Hey, good job, Caleb. You got
good job. Way to go. Good impression.
You got a skill. Very
it's
impressive.
not a really marketable
That's a special skill if I ever heard it.
You know, it's whatever. I can't go into a job interview and be like, check this out, and then get it.
Check this
Although
shit
maybe I should
out.
try that. Maybe that does get me my next job. That'd be fucking wild, wouldn't it?
I'll say can't height. I still have a voiceover role that we.
Yeah, I thought about that like yesterday and was like, oh fuck, I've been a bad person.
I'm planning like a larger film production to happen like Labor Day weekend. So like that one, has not been the primary function of
as
my
it
brain.
should
but
not be. But yes, we'll get to it.
Absolutely.
Chill.
Any pluggable pluggles from the likes of you?
What did you call me?
Pluggle? Is that like a non-magical?
Yeah.
Person?
Yeah, we're Xing out J.K. Rowling, so we're now gonna call them pluggles instead.
No.
Take that.
No, a pluggle.
Ha! Eat that, you
A
fart.
pluggle is like a non-magical butt plug user.
I only hit things that affect me. I don't hit water or old mayonnaise or the air after a fart has dissipated.
Truly incredible. I don't think I have any plugs. I'm just happy to be back as we
wrap it up.
Bring this motherfucker into the station.
It's wild.
I keep looking at the list of episodes we have left, and I'm like, not that many.
Oh, that's short.
Not that many.
Like me.
Short leads.
Yeah. I don't really have anything to plug other than. Nope.
Nope. Yeah, be gay, do crime. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. I can't do the first part, so I will just do more crime.
There's still time.
There's still honey.
There's still time.
This podcast.
If Chris Evans or Hemsworth showed up at my house tonight,
that's what I'm saying. See you.
I don't think doing the deed is what makes you gay. I think being okay with the
that's
deed.
not what I meant.
Right.
I just meant like I would cook them. I would welcome them into my home.
I just cook them dinner. I'd show them a nice time. I'd be a hospitable
I would have to
hostess.
start watching Marvel movies though. I'm like getting through them again, coming up on the end. I couldn't finish those movies with them. That would be awkward.
In the room, it'd be
weird. It'd be me. I'd have to come.
They'd be like, I don't know. I'd be like, hey, watch yourself. I'd be like, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't really want to watch these actually.
No, I feel weird every time I watch a movie I'm in. I question all the decisions I made and I can't change. No. Why'd the editor choose that take?
Yeah, absolutely. The constant war between actors and editors.
Yes, we fight.
Eventually, one group will kill the other.
That's the hope.
And
the editors will win. Let's not joke.
Yeah, come on now. Editors are hardy, you know?
Have you met an editor? Jesus.
Yeah, you
Have you met an editor?
Have you met
an editor? That's a very good sentence.
Met an editor.
Disgusting. I will say TV's Kevin Lanigan on all the stuffs where you can find me and my Sopranos themed thirst traps, and all the other
I've
things.
seen them, honey. She's looking good.
I've been working out a lot.
Good for you.
Anyway, and patreon.com/tvskevin if you want to help me reimburse all the money I'm spending making a short film. It's not a small amount. So $1 a month, you get a bunch of extra shit, including a bunch of stuff with Kat Scott, who was featured on this very episode. And I got a pop culture recommendation. I like to recommend when I see something and I'm like, that's pretty good. I like to recommend that. A new film just came out in theaters. That will help finally put the Nick Cage good or bad debate to bed.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
It is a. He's always been good, but this film is yet more evidence of that particular canon. It's a new film called Pig, starring Nicolas Cage.
It's in theaters?
It's in theaters right now.
I'll have to go check it out.
I do not want to tell anyone too much about it. The trailers make it look like John Wick with Nicolas Cage and a pig, which, okay, that movie sounds pretty good. But it's so much more than that. And it's such a beautiful, tender, lovely film in a way that I knew basically nothing going in. But, the early reviews were like, Pig's great. And I was like, well, shit, I'll go see Pig.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's fucking excellent, and I would recommend, and I like to prop up, those smaller indie fare that kind of get eaten alive at the box office these days.
Right. Well, I mean, even the blockbusters are getting fucking eaten alive. Look at you, Black Widow.
Yeah, well, did it not do well? I have no idea.
It's like
people are really confused.
Yeah, sales are like
decent open weekend, and then second weekend it went nothing.
So that was when you released the movie.
I mean,
he's been dead for 2 years.
Yeah, it's
that, but also like if it's gonna be streaming and people are used to the streaming and they've lost that momentum, right?
Yeah,
the people that are like, I want to go see it in theaters, they're gonna do it when it opens, and then that's it.
And then that's it, right?
Nobody else is gonna be like, oh, that's running. Let me just pop in. They're gonna be like, let me just go home.
And I don't want to open up like a can of worms. I think the Disney Plus shows have been divisive.
They're divisive,
and I think that it has, myself included, put a lot of people off the franchise for a little bit.
I mean, there's also, not to mention, there's also an entire section of fans who aren't the diehard Marvel heads or
Yes.
comic book heads like some of us,
And-
who literally, once Endgame came out, they said to my face, they're like, I'm not going to go see a Marvel
They're like, I'm
movie
done.
ever
That was
again.
the end of these
That
movies.
was it. Are you kidding me? Like, they were like, I wanted to see the most insane crossover movie ever made in the entire history of blockbusters.
And they did.
And I did it! So
And
now I
it's-
don't have any reason to watch it anymore.
Right, they're
So
sort of
it's
hoisted by
they're-
their own petard now. They're like, shit, we made a
They're
big
super
movie.
flux right now with it.
It's
I'm a
it's its own
nerd.
thing.
I'll keep
It's-
watching because, I mean, I'm a big special effects geek.
Sure, special effects are good.
And superpowers and science and mumbo jumbo and nonsense. And,
Sure.
you know.
All that sounds good, but it's just like, I don't know, it's a prequel movie about a dead character that I never cared about.
Yeah,
so that's
post-credit
tough.
scene's
That's a
the
tough
most
sell.
exciting part. I saw it opening weekend. I saw it opening day, actually. Or like the day before it came out.
You saw it on a
Because we were
Thursday.
like that. Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it yet.
The most visceral response, I'm not going to say anything, thank you for
Yep.
mentioning that. The most visceral response the entire audience did, the entire movie, was the post-credit scene.
All right.
And if you've not heard the Marvel Cinematic
It's a great-
Universe
it's a great-
summed up in one sentence before, you have now.
But I actually really enjoyed the movie.
Mhm.
I think my biggest critique was the pacing wasn't quite right, but I think they did everything else.
It's almost like there's a fundamental error when you have all the action scenes directed by someone who isn't the director of the movie. It's almost like that creates some inherent pacing issues inside of your film. But anyway, we will be back next week. I'm sorry, like when you've got the action
you're not
scenes,
wrong. You're not wrong.
when you've decided what they look like 2 years before you've hired the director, I just think there's an issue there. Sorry.
I mean, you're touching on something that's real, but I don't. Pacing is more than that. It's fine.
we don't need
pacing
to talk about pacing is a lot of
We'll be able to
things.
talk about it
Pacing
next
is
week.
like
If we want to.
yeah, exactly.
Let's
Well,
talk about it next week. Caleb and
you-
I will talk about it. You don't need to participate,
Yeah,
Kevin.
I
I know
will-
you don't like it, so there's no
No,
reason
it's
to
okay.
do
I
it.
just have nothing to contribute. I'm not going to watch this movie. I'm just going to like read, and then you two tell me when you're done, and then I'll.
Yeah, you'll know. You'll know. You will learn by proxy, which
I'll
is how
come
I
back
did for all of basically Facebook. That's not true. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up.
Anyway, so we will be back next week with an episode that oddly predicted the quarantine state of the universe that we ended up in. It'll be a fun one. But until then, pop pop.
Pop pop, and also with you. I can't.
What an episode.
I'm sorry, I didn't mute.
Your lifestyle is alternative, your influence is positive, you represent the changing of the tide. Inspiring to young game, and you'll never be ashamed again, but there's another secret locked inside. Gating, 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 gating. I'm begging you to be gating for the school board. Gating, gating.